Bronco Dundee, that famous boxing trainer, figures that Tyrone Everett can do the job tonight. He thinks that he can beat him. In fact, he even stated that about a year ago. I thought he could take Alfredo Escalera on and win.
I thought we'd have an opportunity to talk, at least maybe even have Angelo on for part of the broadcast, but he is not in attendance tonight. I believe up in Boston for a fight tonight. Everett with a record, as we'd indicated, 34-0 with 18 knockouts, but 18 of his wins here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. So a decided advantage, at least as far as the home court or home ring is concerned. We are in the center ice position for Flyers hockey, just about half court for 76ers basketball. Just to give you some reference, for those of you that watched the Army-Navy game only last Saturday on ABC, we are about 150 feet away from JFK Stadium.
They are now introducing the judges for tonight's bout. And
from Pennsylvania, Lou Tres. And from Mexico,
Ismael Fernandez of Puerto Rico was introduced.
Solis.
Ray Solis will be the referee. He's from Mexico, and once again, as we had indicated at the start of the broadcast, some minor problems concerning how this thing would work out. There had been a big stink, too, over the size of the gloves. The Escalera camp wanting 6 ounces, finally resolved with 8 ounces. Fight will be scored on the 10-point must system, which is most unusual for Spectrum bouts, because normally it's a 5-point must system in Pennsylvania, but due to the fact that there some concessions had to be made, this will be a 10-point must system.
More dignitaries being introduced here in Philadelphia. You know, interesting enough, how this fight came about was the World Boxing Council ordered an elimination match between Tyrone Everett and Colombian Hugo Barraza.
Russell Peltz, the erstwhile boxing promoter here at the Spectrum, who finally got a chance after promoting a lot of minor league boxing cards and then moving here as the Spectrum's director of boxing, getting a championship bout. The first time in 12 years since Joey Giardello and Hurricane Carter went at it some 12 years ago. Well, we're ready now for the start of round number 1 between the reigning World Boxing Council Junior Lightweight Champion Alfredo Escalera and Tyrone Everett of Philadelphia.
To you fight fans around the area, or is not too familiar with him, he holds the North American featherweight title, which he took off Rosalio Miro of Mexico. And he did that when he couldn't get a bout with Escalera. And here we go with round 1. Hugh?
It will be interesting to see just what develops in round 1, as Tyrone, a hard-hitting left-hander, against Escalera, certainly a seasoned veteran, a guy who has been involved in this his 7th championship bout. A young man who started up in New York City and moved back to his native Puerto Rico and has been doing exceedingly well since that time.
Actually, his career really took off when he did move back to his native land. Hooked up with Filiberto Lebrun, and Victor Valley was a famous New York trainer, came down and polished off the rough edges, and now you're looking at a polished world champion. Alfredo Escalera on our left with a dark red crushed velvet trunks.
Escalera 4 inches taller. That may make a difference, and a reach of 2 inches. Tyrone Everett on your right. Tries to get a quick left in and does score as Escalera misses with a roundhouse left. Everett, I think Bob Taylor will just have to take his time and fight his best fight ever, and hopefully get in and work on the midsection of Escalera.
Definitely. Both fighters, you can see in the study of concentration on their faces. They are, imagine their whole fight plans going over their mind time and time again, what to do, what not to do. To left, glancing blow off the side of Escalera.
The counter right by Tyrone Everett over the left of the champion Escalera. Just under a minute, the opening round of this World Boxing Council Junior Lightweight Championship. Oh, there was a quick right hook by Tyrone Everett to the chin of Alfredo Escalera.
Both fighters have very fast hands.
Both extremely young people, as Escalera is but 24, having his birthday here in Philadelphia on November 21st, and Everett still only 23. "15 seconds to go to the end of round one. A tough one to score. Maybe we'll have to give it to Everett just for merely being the aggressor."
And of course from Philadelphia.
That's it. That's the end of round number one, as Alfredo Escalera glares at the challenger Tyrone Everett. We've just been giving the attendance here 16,019. This is the largest crowd ever to witness a boxing event indoors in the state of Pennsylvania.
16,000.
Well, okay.
I think
Coach,
all of them smoke. It's just filled with smoke here, and that pays havoc too on fighters. You know, near the end of the fight, when your wind is coming short and heavy, and then you got all have to breathe in all that smoke. It's tough.
For you fight fans watching out in San Francisco, my cohort Bob Taylor is a former Flyer goaler who was traded to Pittsburgh last year and decided to retire and work with us back here in Philadelphia. This is Tyrone Everett. He KO'd Cornell Hall in 3 rounds on March 31st. One of his 18 KOs over a very brief 4-year pro career, but was 25 of 29 as an amateur. Well, roughly 63 fights. Plenty of ring savvy, but 23 years old.
Interesting note on Tyrone. He's named after the famous actor Tyrone Power, which was his mother's favorite actor at the time. The story goes that she was watching a Tyrone Power movie and she went into labor, and consequently Tyrone Everett was born.
So that's what they told you, right?
Right.
Escalera trying to counter. Tyrone Everett keeps on the move. Ooh, got that sneaky right in again. Everett with that right jab lead. Snuck it in 2 times so far on Alfredo Escalera. Oh, good solid left by Tyrone Everett as Escalera tries to counter. One thing that Everett cannot do is get overconfident. Takes a good right and throws Escalera into the corner. Already things are starting to get a little testy at center ring here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We're nearly into round 2.
Both fighters determined not to give an inch to any one of them, and Tyrone Everett scoring with that left and that right. Most of Escalera's punches so far have been blocked by Tyrone.
A good solid right, but was maybe picked off just a wee bit by Alfredo Escalera. He throws a rather weak left, trying to tee up that right hand too, and he's got to be more aggressive than that. As Tyrone Everett counters with 2 quick ones there in combination right-left. Going to his left, maybe throwing Alfredo Escalera off by going a bit the other way. Moving counterclockwise as well.
You know, with all that controversy over the gloves, the 8 ounces as opposed to the 6 ounces. Everett himself said he couldn't figure out why such a big deal, because when he had to go to Europe, he fought with 6-ounce gloves, so it didn't really matter to him. So far in the first 2 rounds here, it doesn't seem to bother him at all with the 8 ounces either.
Well, we have but about 5 seconds to go before round 2 is over, and Escalera and Tyrone Everett will go back to their seats. And Escalera, once again, glaring at Tyrone Everett.
Both fighters trying to out-psych the other one.
Fighters were extremely active here in 1976, Bob, as we had told the fans that Tyrone Everett took on Rosalio Muro in February, then KO Cornell Hall in March, decision Felix Figueroa in 10 rounds on June 7th, and then decision Hugo Barazera in 12 rounds on August 1st. By the same token, Escalera, in this his 7th defense of his title, defeated Jose Fernandez of San Juan, Buzzsaw Lamabi of Japan, and Ray Looney, a WBC junior lightweight title bout back on September 18th. Very, very active junior lightweight champion Alfredo Escalera. So far, I'd have to say, as I see it, scoring at 10 for Everett in both 2 rounds and 9 for Escalera. This is the 10-point must system in the state of Pennsylvania.
Both fighters are trying to do a masterful job of psyching. Escalera is out of the cup, moving over his right eye.
That's what I leaned in to see, as again it's a quick right hook by Tyrone Everett, and he pops again, but the blood is from the right eye or the left side, as far as Tyrone Everett is throwing to the eye of Alfredo Escalera.
Watch him go to work on that eye now.
Well, you can see it, Bobby. I wonder if our ground level camera number 6 can pick it up. One thing for sure, that Tyrone Everett is going to fight a heady fight. Certainly cannot afford to be conservative, but has another solid left scores by Tyrone Everett. Right on that cut eye of Alfredo Escalera. He tries the counter with a right. Tyrone Everett doing his little Muhammad Ali number.
The fans are really coming late. They like the action.
Oh, look at Escalera now.
He's talking to him now, Hugh.
Trying to out-psych Tyrone Everett.
Sure, listen to him.
He was warned just then by referee Ray Salas of Mexico as Escalera tried to go with the uppercut, and countering is Tyrone Everett.
He's trying to psych him, saying, "You're not hurting me at all, Everett. You're not hurting me. Oh, come on, let's go."
He's bleeding too. Bobby, Tyrone Everett is also bleeding. From the right eye, Bobby.
Both of them. There's a good combination by Everett. Left, right. This is starting to look like a grudge match. He's bleeding. Everett's bleeding a little bit more profusely than Escalera.
45 seconds to go before the end of round number 3 as Alfredo Escalera tries to pin Tyrone Everett against the ropes in Everett's corner. Tyrone Everett, the challenger against the reigning World Boxing Council junior lightweight champion Alfredo Escalera of Puerto Rico. Blood is just streaming down the head of Tyrone Everett, and he scores with a left to the head of Alfredo Escalera.
Right, it was glancing right. The crowd up at the upper deck thought it was a good one, but it was a glancing one.
Quick lefts by Tyrone Everett have scored, but we'll have to watch out for that cut over his eye. Alfredo Escalera grinning and playing to the crowd here in Philadelphia.
He loves to play to the crowd, doesn't he?
Why do those guys that have to do those things be seated right next to us?
Especially when they're in a hostile ground here. Right. See it in Everett's backyard. But you know, a funny thing is, because of his flamboyant style, Escalera is accused of having a playboy image and not constantly. Here we go, some action here in the ring. There's a good left by Everett. Escalera coming right back, smiling all the time, all throughout that last round. He was smiling, talking to him. In fact, he was cautioned. There's a good left, or pardon me, right by Escalera. Coming through. That's the one that opened up Everett. Opened a cut over his right eye. But as I was saying earlier, the flamboyant style of Alfredo Escalera makes people think that he's somewhat of a playboy and doesn't train hard, but that's not the case. He's a very dedicated fighter.
Known perhaps as a tightwad, but with a fine eye for the ladies, Tyrone Everett. Or Fancy Foxes, whichever you prefer. Both fighters with slight cuts here as we are early on in round 4. Alfredo Escalera continues to grin, continues to attempt to intimidate Tyrone Everett, force him into mistakes.
Everett's opened up that cut again on Escalera's right eye.
And Everett tries to stave off the lefts of Alfredo Escalera to protect his own eye.
Rocked him a bit.
Right.
Seems like when he stings him a bit, Escalera smiles to say, "You didn't hurt me, Everett."
That's your best shot. Give it to me. Well, Escalera keeps walking in, and one of these rounds, it appears that Everett, if he does have that punching power, is going to score. Continues to score then as Escalera misses, and counters by Tyrone Everett seem to be effective, at least at the moment. Pick one off and counter with a right hook. Escalera hit high and wide with that right cross, starting the smile routine again. He plays to the crowd. Alfredo Escalera. Right in. Escalera backing up as took a vicious shot. Tyrone Everett scored a good one there. And blood is starting to come from the eye of Alfredo Escalera. That was the best shot of the fight so far, midway through round number 4. Boy, that was a good one. Escalera wasn't looking to smile at the audience as he had done the first 3 rounds.
It opened up a cut under the eye this time. The cut earlier was over the eye, on the brow. Now this one's under the eye. So he's cutting both places on that right eye.
Escalera glances to his corner to see what instructions they'll have over there. And Jimmy Arthur is exhorting Tyrone Everett to continue boxing as well as he has so far. A little midsection shot, but the thing I like about it, when he throws that shot, he continues to follow through and doesn't give Escalera any punching room.
Everett's cut is reopened again too, Hugh, and so both fighters are bleeding from the same eye.
And that's the end of round number 4 here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, where the largest crowd ever to watch a boxing match indoors, 16,000 and short change, watching tonight's World Boxing Council Junior Lightweight Championship.
I got a good look at that eye of Escalera, and it doesn't seem to be bleeding that bad, Hugh. It's cut all right. It's cut in 2 places, but it's still not bleeding very bad. Everett seems to be cut a little bit better. Here's the replay. Bang, here it is. This is where he gets that cut open on the right side under the eye. Give him a good right and then followed up with a good left hook, and that's what opened up the eye underneath. But it's not bleeding very bad. We're right under the corner. There you have a good shot of Tyrone Everett. They're working on the cut over his eye, and that one seems to bleed a little bit more profusely than the 2 cuts suffered by Escalera.
Both fighters staring at each other as we await the start of round number 5. Alfredo Escalera in the crushed red velvet trunks, and Tyrone Everett in the shocking pink, or soft pink if you prefer. Good right hook by Alfredo Escalera to the head of slowed him down. Scores again with a good one as Tyrone Everett hits Escalera. Now they're really drawing. This is turning into what you might refer to having all the overtones of a pure 6 brawl.
Both fighters are talking to each other. They're smiling after they land punches. They say, "You didn't hurt me." This is unique. Referee cautioned Escalera. Let's get this action going, he says. Referee.
Everett tried to counter with a left there. Ray Solis of Mexico, the third man in the ring. Tyrone Everett tried a combination right-left that time, failed to click. It's a flicking jab that turned away the head of Alfredo Escalera. Maybe a combination would be in order if Tyrone Everett wants to finish this one off. At least. Oh, he took a vicious right. Alfredo Escalera just hit Tyrone Everett with a vicious right. And really smiling now.
They're really talking to each other now.
Everett counters but didn't score. Escalera a bit wild with an uppercut.
Right-left combination. The left is the only one that scored. The right was blocked effectively by Escalera.
Everett has been countering very, very well, and that's the reason that he scored the first 2 rounds in his favor.
Fighter's eye is starting to puff at all here. They are cut, but the swelling hasn't come up to the extent where there'd be in any trouble. Maybe later in the fight it could happen if it receives more punishment. But both fighters are cut, but they're not. It's not swelling at all.
The power from those 8-ounce gloves, Bob. Escalera attempts to cut down the ring size as Tyrone Everett backpedals and then tries to counter as Escalera leads. Escalera has Everett boxed in, or almost boxed in. Flicking rights. And both fighters want to go 4 minutes instead of 3.
Alfredo Escalera, you know, at one time when he was an amateur, he boxed under the name of Alfredo Ayala, which is his mother's maiden name. I believe that's the right pronunciation. And in fact, he won the 135-pound novice Golden Gloves Championship of New York in 1970. He started out fighting in New York City and 10 fights as a professional up here in the United States, and then he went back to Puerto Rico. That's where his career took off.
Ray Solis, the referee from Mexico, went over to look at the eye of Tyrone Everett, apparently satisfied that it's not a major wound, at least at the moment. Has not even gone over to the corner of Alfredo Escalera to take a look at his eye. Round 6 of a scheduled 15-round fight. World Boxing Council Junior Lightweight Championship. Escalera at 128. Everett came in at 131 this morning, had to do some road work, a little shadow boxing, and maybe a couple of laps around the spectrum that knocked off that extra pound.
A very responsive crowd here at the Spectrum. Of course, it's been a city of champions over the years in other sports, well, mainly with our team, the Flyers, and hopefully in the Sixers, and now they have a chance for a World Championship fight, and they want to come and show the people that they can support it.
Escalera continues to close down the ring as referee Solis says, "Let's get with it, boys." Mix it up. Escalera had indicated in several reports in Philadelphia that he would just stay in the center of the ring and retain his championship if Everett didn't come after him, and that's just what he's doing here as we have gone a minute into round number 6. Escalera continues to flick out the left jab. Everett trying to counter, and he took a pretty good right, and I think Everett may have scored with a right hook himself, although Escalera doesn't look any the worse for that shot.
Everett's countering very effectively so far in the fight. That's the showmanship in there. He just bounced into it himself. He wasn't knocked into the ring by ropes by Everett at all. Alfredo Escalera, very popular champion in his home of Puerto Rico.
Missed that one, and the right by Everett was just a little high and didn't score on Escalera's jaw. Quick right in by Tyrone Everett. Escalera tries to move Everett into the corner. Good exchange there, and maybe Escalera hurt Everett. Started to laugh about it, sticks out his tongue. Says, come on, fight me. Fight me. Wild right that did not score on Everett. Everett continues to back away. Quick, sneaky right by Ty Everett. And that's the end of round number 6 as a sight job is underway by current champion Alfredo Escalera.
We're going to see some of the action in that previous round. Here it is. Escalera connecting with the right, and Everett coming back with his right cross as a counter. Just before the end of the round, we had the shot of where Alfredo Escalera did his bit for the crowd and stuck his tongue out. Here it is right here, coming up. Bang. Skakes away. Dancing here. He's talking all the time and smiling at him as it goes on. There he is, right there, as you can see him. Tongue comes out right after that.
Well, we'll have to say
great showman, this Escalera.
The first 2 rounds were, at least the way I saw them anyway, for challenger Tyrone Everett, but the last 3 for Alfredo Escalera. We're ready for round 7. Tyrone Everett from South Philadelphia, the challenger against the reigning champion of the World Boxing Council, Alfredo Escalera. Quick right.
You know, I've noticed a little quick talking about the psyching job that both fighters are trying to do on each other. Is just before the round starts, Everett looks over and gives old Escalera a great big wink.
Good solid left hook by Tyrone Everett. Once again, Escalera continues to come in, so it apparently could not have scored that well. Everett, but equally quick counter by Alfredo Escalera.
Tyrone Everett hasn't really received the recognition in the hometown Philadelphia as one might think with such a great record of his of 34-0. But maybe after this club here, he's going to get it too.
Well, it is Escalera in the jaw with a pretty good shot there. Tries to counter again, but rewarded off by Escalera. Exactly a minute to go in round number 7. Everett goes clockwise and then counterclockwise. Southpaw tries to get a right in, but stopped, and referee Solis separates the 2 fighters at center range. by Escalera. Puts the left out. Everett looking to counter and go under Alfredo Escalera. Salas is in.
He got that good left right to the body.
And again is cautioned by referee Salas. The difference in this round so far has been the fact that Tyrone Everett has been able to sneak in that right jab. Well, at the end of 7 rounds, I give that one 10-9 to Tyrone Everett. I'd have to say this thing's very, very close, Bob.
Both fighters are blocking effectively so far in the fight, but and the one punches that they are getting through are stinging the fighter. Everett got a good left to the body, and he snuck through with a good right to the forehead of Escalera, and Escalera countered with a right to the ear of Tyrone Everett. And even though there's not that many punches thrown and they're being blocked, some of the ones that are getting through are stinging the fighters.
Well, for such young people to have so many fights as we are being wet by Alfredo Escalera. Well, we'll chalk up the suit for the expense account, but Escalera, fighting in New York, was the 135-pound novice champion, and then with 45 fights as a pro, that just turned 24. And Everett 25 as an amateur and 34 as a pro, giving him almost 63 bouts, or 63 bouts, his 64th year.
Both fighters can punch. They get power in their punches. Escalera's got 24 KOs, and Everett's got 18. So they have the power to knock their opponents out. Oh, good right-left combination by Everett. That one hurt a little bit.
Question about these two young men, that they can go the distance. In fact, Escalera last out went 12 rounds with Ray Rooney. And Everett last out also went 10 full rounds. Quick, sneaky right lead by Tyrone Everett to the head of the champion Alfredo Escalera, who has to back away from an uppercut.
He's forcing him to get his guard up higher now.
Oh, a wild miss by Escalera after Everett scored. Really coming to life at the Spectrum. Another wild. Oh, a solid midsection shot that the eyes of Escalera blinked. The only thing for Everett to do is not to lose his head, if you'll excuse the expression, and walk into a couple of shots. He had scored again on Escalera.
The fans are really going, wow. I don't think the punches have got that much behind them, but they are scoring in the eyes of the judges. They're not hurting Escalera at all, but they are scoring.
Escalera trying to tee it up, and a quick right jab by Tyrone Everett as he moves counterclockwise against the champion Escalera. Right lead is scoring, and caught that one by Escalera on the gloves, did Everett. 30 seconds to go in round number 8. Left by Escalera, did no damage at all.
It looks like the cutmen in Everett's corner have effectively stopped the bleeding so far. The cut has not reopened, and neither has the both cuts on Escalera eye.
Sixth time that Escalera has been warned, this time for butting. And a good hand from the 16,000 here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. I'd have to say that I saw that as being a Tyrone Everett round, 10-9, as the 10-point must system is in effect in Philadelphia.
Escalera says that he enjoyed or was very happy with his return to his native Puerto Rico. He's a country boy at heart, and he just couldn't take the big city living, especially the one of New York City. It proves that if you're a happy person, contented person, your abilities come out and you can exploit them to a greater extent than you are when you're frustrated and maybe uptight than in a cold, big city. If you're a country boy, like he likes to call himself, a country boy at heart, proved to be the doctor's medicine for Alfredo Escalera.
All right, we're ready for round 9 as Escalera has his back to the camera and Everett starts his rotation, this time clockwise. Everett, as you can see, obviously a southpaw, left-hander. Escalera slipped when he threw that right. Didn't have anything on it. Missed there by Escalera.
And you didn't mention that Tyrone Everett likes to jive a little bit with the ladies, and he did a number with Alfredo Escalera there.
Movement there by Everett against the ropes. Prevented Escalera from teeing one up. Good solid right by Alfredo Escalera. You really must like a guy who takes his act on the road defending his championship all over the place, as did Escalera. Fighting in Oslo, Norway, Caracas, Venezuela, winning the title in Japan, back in San Juan, going back to Japan. His last out against Ray Lunny in San Juan, where he KO'd Lunny in 12 rounds. Solid right to the jaw of Tyrone Everett by champion Alfredo Escalera. Everett counters with a right of his own. Good quick jabs by Escalera, caught on the gloves by challenger Tyrone Everett.
Neither fighter seems to be hurt at all, but the punches are scoring. As we said earlier, both fighters very, very tough, able to take it.
Everett with a couple of good licks there. Good right, but counters with a right of his own. Well, we have knockout punches being thrown here in round 9. 45 seconds to go. Pretty even round at the moment.
Guaranteed a purse of $90,000 tonight. Not a bad payday for a 2-hour work.
Tough way
to make it, but
solid counter by Tyrone Everett to the midsection of Escalera. Everett has been countering very, very well, and that's the key to his game plan. And that's the end of round 9. Escalera once again plays to the crowd directly to the left of our microphone and camera.
He's playing to the crowd, but not with the same enthusiasm and spunk that he had earlier in the round. Maybe he could be able to pick up some action in that previous round. Here we are. Tyrone Everett on your left in the shocking pink trunks. There's the right shot that stuns Escalera. He comes right back, and then Everett gives another left-right combination. There it is, left-right. The left not being as powerful as it was thought earlier, but still scoring. As we mentioned earlier in our preliminary bouts, the judges look for the number of punches thrown that get through, not how hard they are or what they do.
There's the bell for round 10 of a scheduled 15-rounder from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We had said earlier on in the broadcast that this was the first championship fight in 12 years ever held at the in Philadelphia, and this obviously, since this is a plant that is only 9 years old, the first championship fight ever. continues to move as the aggressor from about the third round on has been the champion, Alfredo Escalera. But scoring points consistently with vicious right has been the challenger, Tyrone Everett. It's there. Both fighters move away as referee Ray Solis of Mexico has no problem whatsoever.
Escalera has the habit of backing away from the punch, but once Everett throws it in, it looks to the people here in the spectrum that Everett is connected, whereas he's just probably get a glancing blow, and with Escalera using that Muhammad Ali tactic of pulling away from the punch, making it look that the punch didn't land solidly, but that isn't the case.
The right was picked off. The first one scored, but the second was picked off by Tyrone Everett. Escalera can throw that right. It's interesting for a southpaw that Tyrone Everett seems to be scoring most of his points on the right rather than the left. He is counter-punching very well.
Mostly with that right counter, Hugh. That right uppercut to the body stunned the challenger, caused him to stumble a little bit. At the close around 10.
There it is, the bell. And both fighters try to get a couple of licks in.
A good fight so far, Hugh. Both fighters scoring, getting good licks in, showing good blocking power, good ring savvy. As we tune in on the corner, there's a Escalera, 24 years of age, 128.5 pounds he weighed in this morning, 5'9", and with a 2-inch longer reach of 73 inches compared to the 71-inch reach of the challenger Tyrone Everett. It's tough for us to pick up the instructions being held. There's Everett, age 23, 130, 5'5.5". And as we said earlier, only a 71-inch reach as compared to the 73 of Escalera. But I was mentioning earlier, it's tough to pick up the ring instructions of the champion, who's right above us, as it's in Spanish.
Spanish.
Excuse me.
Well, the English say they speak English and we speak American, so I guess maybe that's the way to look at it.
That's what we say about it in Canada also.
Right. Alfredo Escalera against Tyrone Everett. More noise than anything else right there. 11th round, and the fighters continue to have the same energy that they've had for the first 10. A couple of wide pops there by Escalera failed to score.
Escalera is somewhat of a musician, if you want to call conga drum playing a musical instrument, which I guess it is, and he just loves to play that. That's one way of relaxing for the champion.
Nobody really has scored yet here in round 11. Both cut men for Escalera and Tyrone Everett done very, very well and prevented bleeding now for about 4 rounds.
Everett has a good knack of getting out of trouble, as he did just a while ago. There, Escalera had backed him into the corner, and Everett made a good move out of the corner to get back in the center of the ring and not get tied up by the champion.
More of a slip than a hit. Fans really have not a heck of a lot to cheer about here in round 11 as we have exactly 1 minute to go. Escalera missing wildly. Everett continues to move. He's going to have a problem, I see, if he decides to slow down, especially the way Escalera appears.
Oh, there's a little move. Tyrone Everett can play to the crowd also, Hugh. The fans are loving it here. Both fighters are very good showmen, and plus the fact that they are exceptionally good boxers.
Very exciting round number 11 as we have but 10 seconds to go. A lot of hanging on here. That's the end of round 11 of a scheduled 15 round for the World Boxing Council Junior Lightweight Championship.
You know, what started out as seemingly a grudge match with both fighters trying to psych each other out and playing to the crowd, talking to each other and smiling, sticking their tongue out, has really grown into probably one of mutual respect. They both seem to have a lot of pub spunk and vinegar left, as we say back home. And there's that record we talked about against Ray Lunny. Escalera KO'd him in the 12th, and Everett decisioned him in the 12th.
That was Escalera's last bout back in San Juan on September 18th, which was quite a few days later than the August 1st bout that Tyrone Everett had with Hugo Barraza down in Caracas. Escalera and Tyrone Everett ready to go in round 12 in a very, very close fight from the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
I would think that if Tyrone Everett was to wrestle the crowd or the crown away from Alfredo Escalera, that he was going to have to start scoring some pretty unanimous points right now on in the scheduled 15-rounder.
Picked one off and countered well. A couple of high shots by the champion. Things are starting to pick up as the champion scored with a right-left combination. Good left by Escalera to the head of Everett. Missed with the right. Everett to Escalera. Clinch separated by referee Ray Salas.
Champion's trying to get him up, caught him in the corner and on the ropes, but the challenger Everett is very smooth at getting away from the ropes.
Good right by Tyrone Everett to the nose of Escalera. Didn't even flinch as the champ comes back with two quick rights. Plenty of action here in round 12. Neither fighter with any puffiness around the eyes, although they were cut early.
Everett seemed to be cut a little bit more than the champion, Escalera. He was bleeding a little bit more, but it's been closed up from the last 4 rounds. Bleeding hasn't returned.
Good movement by Ty Everett as Escalera cannot score. Everett continues to move, and Escalera can't hit him. Good right by Tyrone Everett. Didn't even slow down Escalera as we have but 45 seconds to go in round number 12.
Slept there. They've slipped quite a bit. The ring doesn't seem to be, their footing seems to be somewhat loose on this spectrum floor.
Everett ducks on a tied up. And that'll be it for round 12 here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Another fairly close round.
Here's a look at both fights that Escalera and Everett had against Jose Luis Lopez. Escalera carrying him in the 6th and Everett carrying him in the 4th. So really the fights that these two have had in common have been pretty well. They've done away with their foes almost in the same manner.
Well, if you're looking for indications, Everett came out blinking the eye that has the cut on it. Maybe it's starting to smart a little bit. As we have. Oh, just popped open. It may have been caused by either a glove or a butt. I don't know, Bobby, but Tyrone Everett is bleeding profusely. Blood is all over his face.
It's up high on the forehead, though, Hugh. It's not really on the eye, but it's high on the forehead. You can pick it up. His corner, Escalera's corner wants him to go after Everett.
Blood all over his ring. His gloves, they are no longer pink-colored. They are a blood red. Tyrone Everett. Blood all over his face. Really not sure. I guess it was caused by the glove, Bobby, but that high up on the head
Makes you wonder.
yeah. But Everett in really bad trouble here in round 13. Probably has difficulty with his vision. We have 1:40 to go, and he keeps dancing away. Referee Ray Solis decides he's not going to step in, but continues to check the cut.
He's taking a good look at that cut to make sure that it's not going to do any permanent damage to the challenger, but he's lost his mouth guard. Tyrone Everett, Escalera's popped his mouth guard out now.
Well, maybe that's why Ray Solis hasn't even checked it due to the fact, rabbit punch there, and
yeah,
that's why he has not decided to take a look at the challenger Tyrone Everett. He's got 1 minute and 5 seconds to weather this round, unless he can possibly put Escalera away, but the champ really looks confident. Everett continues to counter.
You'd look confident, too, if you saw blood all over your opponent's face.
Oh, he took a right and left from Everett, but he still never even flinched.
Everett doesn't seem to be hurt, but the big thing is his vision going to be impaired? Can they stop that cut if he lets it go to the end of the round?
Well, we have only 35 seconds to go. That shot is very high up on his forehead, not much below his hairline. Good right-left combination by Tyrone Everett. Escalera still continues to come in. The champion, Alfredo Escalera. He blinked a little bit then, too. Certainly not the super confident, cocky fighter he was early on, that is Escalera, as Ty Everett may weather the storm. 6 seconds to go here in round number 13. Tries to cut the ring down. There it is, and the cut man quickly in. Ray Solis does come over.
They have the ring doctor coming up now to take a look. I don't think it's going to improve his or impair his vision at all because the cut is high on his forehead. The crowd loving it. They're standing up and cheering their hometown favorite, Tyrone Everett, because of such a gutty performance he's putting on here. He came in and he scored repeatedly after the cut was opened up.
Everybody said here at ringside, it alleges it was a headbutt, and in fact, everybody's pointing to their head and indicating that that's the way it developed.
Here it is, right here. That's how it opened up. He's bleeding quite badly, but as we said earlier, it's very high on the forehead. I don't think it's going to bother his vision unless it's opened up again and the blood does get in his eye. But there he goes again with the wink. There you go.
Round number 14, and many fans
love it. They want it.
16,000 standing on their feet. As indicated that perhaps challenger Tyrone Everett. But Alfredo Escalera, the defending World Boxing Council champion, seems to be in pretty good shape here, at least starting round number 14.
Escalera stalking the challenger. Got him started up high. Trying to work him into a corner. Try to get him in the ropes. Try to get him in the corner so he can't get out. But Everett has been able to sneak his way past Escalera. He got a good right to the body there, Hugh.
But by the same token, keeping Alfredo Escalera off balance from throwing that roundhouse right. When he does, it's wide. Everett a bit flat-footed here as we are early into round number 14. Cut is open just a little bit. Escalera and Tyrone Everett both a bit wild there. Good right by Tyrone Everett. Made the champ blink, but didn't cause any serious damage, at least not at the moment.
The challenger looks much worse for wear, but as we said earlier, the cut is high on his forehead.
Minute and 20 to go in round number 14.
There's a low blow. He was warned by the referee. The champion got a low blow in on the challenger, Everett, and was warned.
And try to get another head in, perhaps. Blood all over our statistics here as Tyrone Everett continues to bleed from that cut high on his forehead. We have 40 seconds to go in round 14. Continues to move away. Clinch, separated by referee Ray Solis.
Approximately half a minute left in this round 14. An excellent fight so far. Both fighters throwing good punches and scoring. Of course, the one damaging blow has probably come from the head of the champion, Alfredo Escalera, which opened that profusely bleeding cut, as you see on the challenger, and high on the forehead.
16,000 here at the Spectrum on their feet, cheering both Alfredo Escalera and the challenger Tyrone Everett as his cutmen in the corner, including Jimmy Arthur, his trainer, go to work.
Tyrone Everett followers sensing an upset, and the followers of the camp of Alfredo Escalera sensing a retention of the World Championship, which he already holds.
Here in Philadelphia, Jim Barniak, columnist with the Philadelphia Post, indicating a wide margin of lead. At least that's the way he sees it for Tyrone Everett. In fact, we just heard from Alfredo Escalero's seconds. We only have one round. This is it, round number 15.
There it is. This was decides the World Boxing Council Championship, and both fighters are going after it.
Junior lightweight championship on the line here. Champion Alfredo Escalera against the challenger Tyrone Everett. A lot of folks think that Escalera might need a knockout to win. Tyrone being yelled by a lot of folks behind us, obviously a partisan Philadelphia crowd. Quick left by Tyrone Everett. Escalera trying to back Tyrone Everett into the corner. Wide right by Alfredo Escalera. Everett and Escalera exchange blows that don't seem to
he got him
fighter,
right.
although Escalera may have got in a glancing right hook there. Right by Alfredo Escalera. We're in the round 15 of the first championship bout ever held at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Everett scored a couple there, but Escalera continues to come back.
He has to be the aggressor clearly in this round 15.
Escalera has
retain his
opened
title.
up a slight cut over the right eye of challenger Tyrone Everett. Might have been that same one for a minute. It isn't, because it's on the outside portion of his eye. That's the third cut that Escalera has opened up on the face of Tyrone Everett. We have exactly half a round to go. Round number 15. Spectrum in Philadelphia. The champion, according to a lot of ringside observers, in heavy trouble. Takes a good right by Tyrone Everett. Everett comes back with a left-right combination that Escalera managed to avoid. Quick, solid right.
He's opened up a cut over his left eye. The champion has cut over the left eye. Everett with that good right lead cut the champion. The fans are going crazy.
Boy, they're on their feet screaming. We have 50 seconds to go in round number 15, and Everett is even scoring in this round, which would sort of indicate that the title might be leaning his way. We've been wrong before. We'll let the judges and the referee decide this one. One from Pennsylvania, one from Puerto Rico, and the referee in the ring from Mexico.
Both fighters are cut and bleeding. This has been a very tough fight.
Boy,
Escalera's bleeding from the nose now.
Really bleeding, and Everett trying to keep the champion off. 15 seconds to go as Escalera scores with a good right.
He wants the knockout.
He needs a knockout, probably.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. It's all over. Hey, fight's over. Fight's over. Listen to this crowd.
I don't know if we'll be able to keep the people back, but that's what they're attempting to do. We will have to wait for decision, and it should be a very, very close one. I tell you what, Bobby, a lot of people here thinking perhaps that Tyrone Everett, the challenger from Philadelphia, may have fought his best bout ever. Certainly in world-class company. Let us see what happens.
This has been a great fight, Hugh. I'll tell you. Both fighters open up cuts on each other, and punches were landed, and we had the showmanship. We had everything all wrapped up in this bout. We had crowd participation from the fact that Alfredo Escalera, our champion, talking to the crowd. He's still talking to the crowd.
It has not been an easy night for the champion, who has never lost in 6 previous defenses of the title that he won from Kuniaka Shibata over in Japan back on July 5th. Retained it against Lionel Hernandez, and against Sven Erik Paulsen in Oslo, Norway, Jose Fernandez in San Juan, Boso Yamami in Japan, and Ray Looney in his country of Puerto Rico. The judges, remember, Ishmael Fernandez of Puerto Rico, Lou Tress of Philadelphia, and referee Ray Solis of Mexico.
You can see the group on the far side of the ring is the doctors and the cutmen of challenger Tyrone Everett. Now we're looking at Alfredo Escalera, the champion, but they are not in Tyrone Everett's corner. They're over in a neutral corner where they're looking at, there we are, we're looking at the cut, trying to stop the bleeding of that, what we think was caused by a headbutt, which is high on the forehead of the challenger Tyrone Everett. The fellow you see on the left of the champion with the towel on his shoulder is the fighter's younger brother, Mike Everett, who is scheduled to fight the next bout after this one.
It's not the best of way to become prepared. Tyrone Everett's trainer, Frank Gelb, in the center of the ring with the orange shirt on and glasses. They are now conferring, the 2 judges and the referee, and let's guess all we need is some kind of strange decision here. Because one thing we can always do is head under the ring.
That's right.
Directly above us, Alfredo Escalera, at least at the moment, the reigning World Boxing Council Junior Lightweight Champion. And Tyrone Everett, who went 15 tough rounds with the champ. There's no question about it. I would imagine that Escalera will say afterwards this has been his toughest fight.
I would think that Tyrone Everett would also have that observation on his own performance here tonight, because he has been cut 3 times. As we said earlier, a fight started out of one of intimidation and of psychology from both sides, turned into a mutual respect. And you can see it after the fight's over, both fighters going close to each other, congratulating each other on a fight well fought, and waiting in great anticipation for the decision, which, however you want to score it at home.
I don't know. A lot of folks around here thought, especially boxing writers who have been on the scene for a long time, indicated that, at least in their minds, early on, we thought that the edge had been to Everett and then to Escalera. Maybe he's swinging back to Tyrone Everett, despite the massive head cut that occurred in round number 13, I believe, round 13.
That's the case, and it's a good illustration.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be 2 more bouts following this title bout here.
Daring doing the old vamp trick, because apparently has not received all the cards. Here it comes.
Here we come.
Pick up Ed Darien's outline.
Ladies and gentlemen, the scoring as follows. Judge Lou Tress has scored it 145, Escalera 143, Everett.
Well, the Philadelphia judge scored it for Escalera.
Judge Ismael Fernandez of Puerto Rico has scored it Escalera 146, Everett 143.
Alfredo Escalera, despite what Ray Solis...
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wait a minute.
referee Ray Solis has scored it 158, Everett 148, Escalera, the winner and still junior lightweight champion of the world, Alfredo Escalera.
Well, a split decision as referee Ray Solis scored it for Everett 158-48. Ismael Fernandez of Puerto Rico scored it 146-143. And Lou Tress of Philadelphia scored it for Escalera 145-143. Well, not too happy champion Alfredo Escalera.
Ladies and gentlemen, a correction on the scoring. Referee Ray Solis has scored it by Tyrone Everett 148, Escalera 146.
Didn't make much difference. I thought his mathematics were a bit off. 148-146 for Tyrone Everett.
I think, you know, as in most cases, most championship fight cases, and the challenger really does have to win by a fairly good margin before he's going to wrestle a crown away from the champion. When it's that close, the sympathies are sort of lean towards the champion.
Commissioner Howard McCall will present the belt to Alfredo Escalera.
Not a very popular decision here in Philadelphia, which can be expected because of the fact that